Hey, what's up? Hello, Katie here, and today we're going to be going over all the books I read in November. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up, so let's just jump right into the video. So of the 12 books that I read this month, the first of which is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. Now I do have a whole Halloween reading vlog that's centered around this book. If you want to see more of my thoughts, I'll have it linked below, linked above, wherever it's linked. Basically, this is like a girl, and when she was 5 years old, her parents and her move into this house that's too good to be true. It's this giant house, needs a little bit of renovating, but it's like absolutely stunning. It should not be the price that it's at, which we all know means it is too good to be true. So they move in, and all this weird shit starts happening, like Amityville horror. You see where we're going with this? And in the dead of night, like 21 days in, they just turn tail and leave and just get out. And then the dad says that there was ghosts and that they were all in, like, the house was infested with ghosts and all this crazy stuff happened. He writes a book. It goes absolutely stellar, like in the press and in the media and everything. And he gets super famous. Like the family gets famous, the house gets famous, and the daughter is like plagued with this story her whole life. But she doesn't believe it because she doesn't remember any of these things happening. Like she remembers a little bit of the book, but doesn't remember anything else. So when her dad dies, he bequeaths to her the house. And she's like, "You've owned it this entire time?" What? So she decides to go back there to renovate the house, which really just means investigate shit, and by herself, which, you know, great idea. So when she gets there, all the things, or like a lot of things that happened in the book, start happening in the house. So the book is following her and trying to figure out, like, are the ghosts real? Was the dad lying? Is the book real? All this stuff. And like, why is it happening again? Blah, blah, blah. You know, very Amityville. I really, really enjoyed it. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I think it was super fun. It was super thrilling. Like, this is just was such a good time for me. Like, I was so happy reading this book. Now, one thing I will say is that I watched a Noelle Gallagher video where she talked about, I believe, reading this book. I think it was this one. But she mentioned that, like, all Riley Sager books follow this Riley Sager formulaic plot. And I didn't realize it until she said it. And her video explained a lot better, more in depth, but she was basically like, every single one of his books follows an unreliable female character, that they're all the same age, and they all are like kind of like 2 timeline or something, where there's like another part of their life or something happened that you're following them, and then now they're unreliable, and they're always they always sleep with and like get with a male in the story that isn't really part of the plot but is a suspect. And it's like she shouldn't be attracted to him, but she is. And I was like, wow, that really happens in every single one of his books. I believe her. They're all formulaic. It's making me look at him more critically now. But I enjoyed this book so much, I'm keeping it at 5 stars. Like, yeah, I get that it's formulaic for him. But for somebody that like doesn't know that about him and going into his books, won't have any problem with it. And I think you will really enjoy this. So highly recommend. Next on our list is The Damned by Addie. And I can't say it properly anymore. I can't, Katie. I can't stop using that accent when I say the book name because it's so True Bloody that, like, the Louisiana twang is just, it's, you know what? I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. If you like True Blood, read The Beautiful by Addie. Did you see that? How I struggled to say it? I'm going to try not to annoy you, okay? The Damned is the second book in this series, which I believe is going to be a trilogy, pretty sure. It's by Addie. The Beautiful is the first book. Read it last month, I believe. And I'm not gonna like really go into like what The Beautiful is about because it could be spoilers, but I'll tell you that the series in general is mainly following Celine, who is a girl who kind of gets swept up in this like vampiric underground. And there's somebody that's like killing people, I guess, whatever. They're trying to solve a murder, but she gets swept up in this vampire stuff. And it's like about her romance with a guy named Bastien. But the second book is not just following her. It's following the point of view of several characters, which I enjoyed way more. Like, I really liked The Beautiful, but I thought the weakest point was the romance because I just am not a romance reader really, and I just didn't really care that much. But a lot of people were like, oh, why did we have to follow somebody that's not Celine? I'm like, are you kidding me? Bastien's point of view was so interesting. Like, I really like Celine, but like I loved getting other people's point of views. We got the point of views of like vampires, of like all these different things, and like the hierarchy of the vampires, and like the familialness of the vampires, which I really, really loved. Again, True Blood, what's up? I really liked it. Like, have you met Odette? Because she is Queen Supreme. I love her. Now, I will say, I mean, it's not like a fantastically written book, but it is such a good time. It's such a good time. It's so atmospheric. And the thing I'll say is that the ending really pissed me off. But not because of, it's not like Renee Addie like wrote it badly or whatever. It's just that she chose to do something in the end that really upset me and really makes me be like, am I going to read the next book? Because if this thing happened in the second book, I don't really want to continue. But I'm not going to say what it is because it's spoilers. But anyway, that's my feelings. Let's move on. Okay, this next one is actually the 3rd and 11th book I've read this month. And it's for a very good reason. It's The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. And oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Do you see these tabs? Is this like a freaking joke? Like this, let's just go ahead and say it. It's 5 out of 5. Favorite of all time. Freaking obsessed. Here's the thing. Most of the things that I love about this book, almost the entirety of what I love about this book, is apparently an unpopular opinion. Could have fooled me. And is a spoiler. Again, could have fooled me. But I have a whole reading vlog about it, and there's a huge spoilery section in the end. So if you want to know what I was obsessed with or my thoughts on it, because I have a lot of thoughts, a lot of feelings, I would suggest going and watching that, because I don't want to say what it is I loved about it, because I guess it's a spoiler. I don't know. But anyway, this is about Addie LaRue. Okay. She's living in 1718 or 1714. 1718 France, Villon. And she is like very stifled. She's living in this really tiny town. She wants to draw. She wants to do all these things, but her family is like, no, you just need to get married off. So they go to marry her off to this guy, and she keeps praying to the gods to save her. She's like, I don't want to live and die in the same tiny town. I want to live. I want to go out. I want to explore. I want to draw. I want to like see the world and all these things. And it's just not something that's a possibility to her. And she's been told all her life, do not pray to the gods who answer after dark. But on her wedding day, when she's going to get married, she steals away and prays to the gods. And the god after dark is the only one who answers. So she's like, cool, I'll take it, and makes the deal with him. Now she asks for a life without constraint and a life where she is free. And the devil is like, cool, plot twist, you know, they always have one, and is like, okay, cool, here's the thing. Nobody's ever going to remember you. So if somebody sees her and then goes into another room and comes back, they're like, who are you? But she gets to live forever. So, you know, it's a toss-up. And you go through 300 years of her life where nobody remembers her, and her navigating through France, through Italy, through all these different things, and learning things about the world and learning things about her curse and this constant heartbreak of no one ever remembering her. But then one day she goes into a bookshop and she steals a book, and then she comes in the next day and the guy remembers her stealing the book, and she's like, what? So that diverges from there. So it's a story. I mean, I guess okay, is this a spoiler? I don't know. They market it as like, that's the storyline, is like this guy remembering her. And that is a part of the storyline, but the storyline's really about Addie and how she deals with this curse. I freaking loved it. I think it's amazing. The writing of this book is some of the best I've ever read. It is so quotable. It's so lyrical. Victoria Schwab, I don't understand how she has the depth that she does. Like, how is this the same woman who wrote A Darker Shade of Magic or Vicious or like City of Bones or like just any of these books? I'm like, how is this the same girl? I don't... Anyway, super good. But anyway, the 11th book I read this month is I listened to this on audio. I had been planning on only like skipping through and listening to like my favorite like little steamy bits. Ended up listening to the entire thing, and it was really good. I don't know if I would suggest listening to it, only because like the lyrical writing and stuff. Jan, a girl that I follow on BookTube that we talk on Instagram all the time, I told her I was going to listen to it originally, and she literally was like, if you're going to listen to the audio, you might as well just not read it at all. And I was like, oh my God, called out. Okay. And she was right. She is right. I highly suggest physically reading it. Now, the one thing I'll say is that when I physically read it, other people's opinions on this book, when I listened to reviews and stuff, I did not feel the same way. And I did not like cry at the same things. Like, I didn't feel emotional at the things they were saying. But when I listened to it, I got what they were saying. And I like felt emotional about the stuff they were saying. Now, when I was physically reading it, I had way different thoughts than other people. So again, go watch my review. My review is only for the book, not the audio, by the way. But anywho, let's move on. Next, we have Girls Made of Snow and Glass. This book absolutely shocked me with how much I liked it. I think I gave it a 3.5 or maybe a 4-star. This is like a grim fairy tale. So this is like where this girl's dad is a magician. You're following two different women. Now, this girl's dad is a musician, and he basically gives her a glass heart to keep her alive. But people are like, you're like, that's witchcraft. Oh my God. Ugh. And then they go to this city, or the royal city. And the queen, also has a backstory, especially with this magician. Has a backstory with this magician, okay? Don't want to get too spoilery into it. It is a sapphic romance. The main character is a lesbian. Love that. And it's really about the relationship between this stepmom and this stepdaughter. And it's so good. Like, I loved their relationship. I loved the magical elements were not too intense. Like, this is very easy. Like, if you like fantasy, or if you've never read fantasy, this is really easy. It literally is just like a fairy tale, but it's like dark, like it's mentally a little bit darker and grimmer. And the female relationships were really, really good. Like, the main character's in love with a surgeon, and it's a girl. I was like, ew, oh my God, we love. I feel like if you like the movie Maleficent, you'll really like this book, because that has very similar vibes. Like, I feel like the stepmom is very like Maleficent, and then Aurora, right? That's her name. Dakota Fanning's character. Oh my God. Aurora is like the stepdaughter in this book. They have a very similar vibe happening, and the magic, nobody has wings, but it's kind of similar. Do you dig? Anyway, really enjoyed it. Think it's underhyped. I do suggest it. But then, truly Devious. Overhyped. Hella overhyped. Don't understand it. Like, I don't get it. Why do people like this book so much? Let me tell you one thing. I think his name was David. I might be wrong about that. But the main character's love interest, the dullest, most just like freaking worst love interest ever. He's annoying. He's like kind of rude. Like, it's just no. Like, absolutely not. That was so boring. And the mystery behind the book is interesting, but it's not enough to make me read a freaking quartet. Are you kidding me? And okay, is this a spoiler? I don't think so, because I'm pretty sure it's in the synopsis for the series, but you don't get any answers. You have to read like the whole freaking quartet to find anything out. Are you freaking kidding me? Okay, what is this book about? It's about a girl. It's kind of like a Sherlock Holmesy, or she's obsessed with Sherlock Holmes, really. She wants to be Sherlock Holmes. She goes to this school where everybody, is elite in something, and her thing is criminology. Like, she wants to be like a detective. She wants to study criminology, I guess, or whatever. And this school has like a really rich owner or whatever, and his wife and daughter are murdered. And there's this weird rhyme that was left behind, which is cool. I love that. Cool plot device. And the girl's trying to figure out what happened all those years ago and who killed them. Yeah, I didn't like it. I swear this is the last reading vlog I'm going to tell you to go watch, but the next book changed my life. I read Loveless by Alice Oseman and haven't stopped crying since. This book, it's everything to me. This changed my freaking life. Alice Oseman really wrote a book that saw me so clearly, reached into my mind, reached into my heart, into my deepest fears, my biggest worries, my most anxiety-ridden thoughts, and wrote them all out in such clarity and such brilliance. She really knows how to write YA, in my opinion. I've read all of Heartstopper, but this is my only other novel besides Radio Silence I've read from her, which is also stunning. But oh my God, I have a very emotional reading vlog for this, it's not a reading vlog. I have a review for this. It's very emotional. I really get into it. I would highly suggest watching it. It was a hard video to make. Anyway, this book is about a girl named Georgia, and she has never had a crush on anyone. She has never felt attraction to anybody, whether romantically, physically, anything, but she really, really wants to. And she thinks, one day my day is going to come. I'm going to meet somebody. I'm just going to feel differently. It's going to happen. But it doesn't. And she goes to college, and she's like, this is when it's going to happen. I'm going to go to university, and I'm going to finally be normal. I'm going to kiss somebody. I'm going to have sex. I'm going to go to parties. I'm going to live life the way everybody else does. And it doesn't happen. And the more she tries to put herself out there, nothing changes. And this is a story about an asexual, aromantic main character and the self-discovery of that fact, and figuring out her identity and questioning her identity, and I can't even describe how well represented this book is. I was literally like, do you see this? Do you see this? This was like, I was tabbing the absolute out of this book, and there's so many highlights. There's so much written in here. I can't describe how much I loved this. Like, I am somebody who is asexual, and I don't talk about it because it's really hard to talk about. And it wasn't until I read this book that I was like, I have to say it out loud, you know? And, go watch the video. Anyway, as somebody who is asexual, I can tell you that I just can't tell you how well and how accurately and beautifully she depicted the asexual experience. Like, I can't give this book enough credit, and I think that if you love somebody who is asexual or aromantic or both, or if you yourself feel like you might be, this is a stunning gift to give to yourself or to give to somebody you love so that they can understand you a little bit better. I read The Last Time I Lied, which, the last time I cared, I can't tell you. This was so boring that I literally don't remember what happens, and I read it this month. Hello. The only thing I know is the beginning, like the premise. So this is about a girl. Her name might be Vivian. Oh my god, there was definitely a character named Vivian in this book, but her name might be Emma. Don't really know. There's a character who, she goes to this camp whenever she's younger, and one day she wakes up in the middle of the night and sees like all of her bunkmates like going into the woods, and they never come back. And then nobody ever finds out what happens to them. They just assume they've died. And she's an unreliable narrator, you know, like we know, Raleigh Sager. She goes back to the camp years and years later to be a counselor, camp counselor. And honestly, I'm not even gonna lie to you, at that point, like when she goes back and she's there and talking to people that like used to be in the camp, I don't even have any idea what happened after that, because I just didn't care. Like, I did not care. I should have DNF'd it, and I think the only reason I kept reading it was because it was Raleigh Sager, and I was like, I need to finish this because this is the last book I haven't read from him. So I finished it, and it was a 2-star. Yeah, I can't even tell you who did it. Like, who the bad person was, because I don't remember. Then I read Girl Made of Stars by Ashley Herring Blake. So this is following a set of twins, a girl and a boy, the main character of which is the girl. And they have this amazing relationship, like they're so bonded. And one day they both go to a party. And her best friend is her brother's girlfriend. And the next day, like her brother gets super drunk at the party. And the next day, her best friend says that he raped her. And you're following the main character being like, my best friend wouldn't lie about that, but then saying my brother wouldn't do that. And the whole book is a big book about belief, what it means to be believed, what it means to not be believed, and who believes you and who doesn't, and who matters and who doesn't, and what are you gonna do? Like, if the girl, like the main character, if she does believe her brother, believe him that he didn't do it, like, but she's not sure, like, is she willing to throw away her best friend that she's had for so long, that she loves so much? Is she willing to throw away her story because she loves her brother? Or is she like, no, I want to know the truth, but I love my brother. What do I do? Like, he's everything to me, but she's everything to me. Like, I don't know what to do. Do I do the right thing, or do I do the thing that's best for my heart? So this was such an intense topic to read about. I think that Ashley Herring Blake, like, she really went there. She dived into so much like emotions when it came to like family and trust and honoring family or dishonoring family. I thought that was really beautiful. I did give this a 4 to 5 stars because I think that the writing was quite immature at times, and I get that it is about characters in high school, but like, how many times do we need to mention like that a character's wearing like a Gryffindor tie? Like, how many times we need to say that? And also, just some of the writing, like the concepts and the storyline was so deep, but there was a lot of the writing that was definitely not deep. You know what I'm saying? Loved the book, but I think that in the future I'll probably read a book about a premise like this that is written better, that will get 5 stars out of me. if that makes sense. Then another audiobook I have is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. I'll go ahead and let you know, Elizabeth Acevedo this month has sealed herself as being an auto-read author for me. She can do no wrong. Her voice gets to me. Like, I always listen to them on audio, which I highly suggest. I don't even understand why people physically read the book, even though the books are gorgeous. Because she narrates the audios herself, and she is stunning. Like, she is like a known, like a famous slam poet, and her voice is just, the emotion that she puts into her books is just so phenomenal. Like, I read Clap When You Land last month, I think. Yeah. And then I read The Poet X, and this is a book about a girl who just has so much to say, and she's just so angry at being like repressed, and boys looking at her a certain sort of way, and being able to talk to her a certain sort of way, and being treated some sort of way at school and all this stuff. And whenever she discovers slam poetry, she's like, this is how I can get all my frustration out. Because she has so much to say, but nobody wants to listen to her, and they all want her to shut up. And she's like, hello, oh my God. And I'm like, we love to see it. We love to see somebody being like, listen to me. Listen. This book mainly is just following this girl becoming a slam poet, but it's just so beautifully done. Like, Elizabeth Acevedo can write something that is so simple, and it's just a couple sentences, but the way she writes it and the way she says it just like makes me tear up. Like, this author, I have not teared up like this much reading books by anybody else, and it's just because it's so stunning. And like, I understand, like, I don't like lyrical writing, but I love slam poetry. Love slam poetry. Like, I love that just guttural like emotion, and Elizabeth Acevedo is like the queen supreme. I'm obsessed with her. This book is so good. I gave it a 4 out of 5 because I didn't think it was as good as Clap When You Land, and I did think that it just didn't have as much of a punch as Clap When You Land, which did get 5 stars from me. But anyway, highly recommend all of her books. Then I read, oh my god, I hate to say it, I read The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. And I was so confused. I'm still confused. Are you confused? Because if you weren't, I'm mad. Like, this book is freaking stunning. Okay, I can't even take the dust jacket off. It's so pretty under the dust jacket, but I can't even because it's gonna upset me even more. What happened in this book? This is like 600 pages or something. Or no, it's 500 pages. 500 pages of like the most, I have no idea what was going on in this book. No freaking clue. This was like, when I read The Night Circus, I felt the same way, even though this way more. But in The Night Circus, I was also like, what are you talking about? And in this, that was heightened like to a whole new degree. This is so beautifully written. Like, Erin Morgenstern has stunning writing, stunning, beautiful. Oh my God, paints a whole picture, like rivers of honey. Yes. But you can't follow it. You're like, what's going on? Like, I get, like, she basically writes a bunch of metaphors, and you're like, but do they have a point? Or are they just pretty? Because if they're just pretty, like, I don't care. Like, get somewhere. What are we doing? Okay, this is what I know. You're following a guy, his name's like Zachary, or Ezra Zachary something. Cool dude, he, when he was younger, finds a door. It's this magical door, and he doesn't open it. And later on in life, it's supposed to be that everybody has a door, and if you don't open it, then like, sucks to suck, you're never gonna find it again. And later on in life, he goes, he's in college, he goes to the library, he picks up a book, and it doesn't have an author name, it doesn't have anything written on it. And when he starts reading it, it's about him, and it's about him not opening this door, whatever. So he kind of like falls into this whole crazy world of like, he's trying to find this door, he's trying to figure out what this world is, what this magic is, all this stuff. But then he's also pulled into that this world is falling apart because it's like, has this raging war between one side that wants the world to fall apart and another side that doesn't want it to fall apart. And there's like all these characters along the way who, like, I honestly can't even tell you which ones were allies because I was so confused. It's so beautiful, okay? But I was so angry reading this book because I had no freaking idea what was going on. And I read all 500 pages of it. So, that's over. Now, if Elizabeth Acevedo has only written three books, then I have officially read all of them because I read With the Fire on High. This is the last book that I read this month. I listened to it, which, again, highly suggest. This is her book that she wrote in prose. Like, this is a novel where the other books are written in verse. And I thought that maybe it would lose a little bit of the emotional impact. No. Elizabeth Acevedo, chef's kiss. Now, this is so crazy for me to say this, but like I gave it a 3.5 stars, but I freaking loved it. I'm so glad I read it. I really loved it. I didn't think that it was as good as Clap When You Land. You know, I'm here to say it again. Anyway, and I also gave it a 3.5. I was going to give it a 4-star because the first like third of this book is stunning, so good. And then up until like the 50% mark, really good. And then like the last third of the book just really got like kind of boring in my opinion. Like I was just like, okay, like, and like, can we keep like what's happening? Can we going whatever? But it's worth a read. It really is. It is about a girl who is a young Black single mom, and she gets pregnant in high school, and that's already happened. She already has her daughter, and it's her navigating like going to school, having a job, like having to pay bills, having to take care of her baby, having to deal with her ex, and it's done very well. Like I think that storyline of teenage motherhood, like of course I can't relate, but I think that it was done beautifully. Like, so I'm not speaking on representation, I'm just speaking on like I felt like it was deeply discussed in a lot of ways. And also the girl is a baker, and she is a phenomenal baker. She wants to be a chef, and that is a big part of the storyline. That's basically like the entire like driving plot, I guess, is that she wants to become a chef. And there's also like a bunch of recipes that are layered throughout the book, which is really amazing and really beautiful. So that was really good, and I have a personal attachment to this book because the main character is a lot like Grace. Like I felt like the way that the main character acted was very similar to Grace, who's my best friend, and that really made me love this book a lot. So it feels weird giving it 3.5, but I do think that the book is a 3.5, but I really loved it. So I feel like people are gonna see this 3.5 and be like, she didn't like it. I'm like, no, I loved it. It just like lost it in the end. And it's not that the book was like super interesting, it's that the character is interesting. Do you see what I'm saying? Alright, those are all 14 of the books that I read this month. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you stay tuned. I will be posting my December TBR very soon, and let me know if there are any books that you want me to read really desperately, because I am looking for suggestions. I do post a lot on my Instagram asking for suggestions on my bookshelf of what you want me to read next, so I suggest if you want more bookish content, you could follow me on there. I have my Goodreads link down below. I did get a P.O. box recently, and I would love it if you would send me a letter or something. That would be so cute. So I will have that down below as well. And again, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you very soon with a new one. Good night.